guys, what's up? It's me and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm gonna be showing you how you can install a virtual machine on your computer. For those of you who don't know what virtual machine is, it's basically like an operating system inside an operating system without running it natively. So it's like a nested operating system. And for those of you who know, great job. So in this video, we'll be using VirtualBox for our virtual machine. And you can go on to virtualbox.org and then you can click on this huge button. The latest version is 7.0 for me, and maybe something else for you. You can go ahead and click on it. It'll redirect you to a downloads page, and then you can select your your main. The main is the main. I'm running Windows, so your main is going to be your main's going to be different depending on if you're running a Mac OS or something. See, Windows hosts, like this is a host PC. Windows for me is like a host operating system. So Windows host, I'm going to click on this one. If you're running Mac OS, you can click on this one. These are developer previews, Linux distributions, Solaris, depending upon your operating system. So yeah, and another thing that you're going to need is an ISO file for the operating system that you're going to install. I'm going to be installing Nobara 36, which is like a modified version of Fedora, which is a Linux distribution. Fedora is a Linux distribution, and Nobara is like a modified version of that. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to install Linux on your virtual machines. Linux and Windows are quite similar. Mac OS on Windows or Linux requires a few console commands. I'll be making a video on that as well in the near future. But for today, I'm going to be running Linux on a Windows PC. You can follow the steps. They are going to be almost similar in all the different host operating systems and the guest operating systems. The setup installer might be a bit different, but that's like pretty basic. Anyone can manage that. Like, it's just basic installation. Alright, so I'm going to open VirtualBox. Like, this will be after you have installed it. Already have it installed, so I'm going to just open it. And after it is open, you won't be greeted with the tools page, and it just opened the tools window for me, but it's basically going to be like a few options over here, and you just gotta click on the star that says new. I'm going to go to machine and going to go here. It's like you can also use the shortcut control, and so after you click on that new, it's going to be over here, not inside this window but inside this window, this window. Yeah, so let me focus the camera. Alright, so I'm going to name it, because it's Nobara, I'm just going to name it Nobara OS. And I am going to change the directory. You can also change the directory. Just click on this drop down arrow and click on other. It's going to open a pop-up for you. You can go into the place where you wish to save your hard drive of your computer. I'm going to save it in my D drive in VirtualBox VMs. I've made a folder for that. I'll delete this old folder and I'll make a new folder. I'll select this folder. Alright, so it's going to save my virtual machine in D drive in VirtualBox VMs folder. You can also select the ISO image that you downloaded from here. It'll say not selected, or you can just click on other. It may pop up or it may not, but you can just manually do it. So I save my ISO in VirtualBox ISOs in my D drive. I'm going to open it and click on this Nobara 36 official ISO. I downloaded it from the website. If you want to download this one, you can go on, you can just search Google for Nobara OS and then you'll get it. Alright, in the edition, you can just leave it blank. In the type, however, you're going to select Linux. it may show as other, like it's showing for me, but if you have other OS instead of you installing Windows or Mac OS X or Linux, you're probably installing one of these. But if you're not installing any of these, you can go ahead and click on other. But I'm installing Linux. In Linux, I'm going to be choosing do that Fedora. Oh yeah, they have Fedora. So I'm going to choose Fedora because Nobara is like Nobara is a modified version of Fedora. So I'm going to just choose Fedora 64-bit Linux. Alright, checking Nobara OS. This is okay. Now then I'm going to click on next. You can allocate the hardware and everything that you just want. I am going to double this. So it's almost going to be 4096. So this is how much RAM you want to give it. I'm giving it 4 gigs of RAM. And I'm going to give it 2 CPUs. Not 2 CPUs, 2 processors. So I gave it 2 processors and 4 gigs of RAM. And then I'm going to click on next. You can choose that according to yourself. Now a virtual hard drive now. For the virtual hard drive, I'm just going to give it, let's see, how much should we give it? You can go ahead and give it 100 gigs, depending upon your hard drive, how much space you have. For me, mine is like almost 1 TB hard drive, and I have 449 gigs left on it. So I can just give it 100 gigs and then there'll be 349. I only store games on the D drive, so it doesn't matter that much. Then you can also use an existing virtual hard drive, or you can choose to not add a virtual hard disk. But I'm going to create a virtual hard disk now. I'm going to give it 100 gigs, or you can also change it later. So I'm just going to give it 50 gigs for now. 50 gigabytes, it's a lot. So 50 gigabytes, you can also scale it to highest of 2 terabytes. I'm just going to give 50 gigabytes. And you can also pre-allocate full size, but that won't be, that isn't going to be recommended. I mean, you can if you want to. It's like when check the virtual hard disk, which is allocated with its full size during VM creation time. So that it's going to store that much amount, it's going to reserve it automatically. Or you can make it variable until 50 GB. So I'm going to click on next. This is all the summary of what all you have selected, and then you can go through it. I went through it while I was doing all the stuff, so I don't need to check again. So then you can click on finish. So this is my virtual machine. It has been created. I'll just go on to settings and tweak a few things. It's always good to check everything now. So base memory, alright, floppy and stuff. Processor 2, execution cap, acceleration, default, display. So yeah, give your video, turn the video memory up to the highest so that it gives you the best looks, and it utilizes the entire GPU. So I gave it full 128, and then storage Nobara 36. This is the this VDI is the hard disk. Then this is the ISO audio network. Then you can just change the stuff all that you need. These are shared folders between the host OS and the guest OS. So you can change all this stuff, but alright. I'm done, I have checked all this, then I click on OK. It's going to save them, and it's going to close that window. Now, finally, it's time. Now we are going to click on Start, and it is going to, it says powering VM up over here. We're going to wait for it to load up the VM. And we can full screen it by pressing the host key, which is right control by default, and F. Click on switch, and see now that it is started. So I can just press enter, and we're going to wait for the entire thing to load. Don't worry, this is not my this is not my guest. Like, this is not my OS. This is like this window. I've just full screened it, and that's why it may look like it's my entire window, like it's my entire PC, but that's not my entire PC. This is just the Nobara OS window, and we're going to wait for it to open up and stuff, and like run all the commands and stuff. Alright, so this is Nobara OS. We've successfully booted in. If I escape full screen, you can see the Nobara OS window. And if I enter full screen again, you can see it. It's going to take some time to resize, whether if you change windows. But yeah, see Nobara OS. We're going to give it a few seconds. Like, this is because it's been running for the first time, and it's not installed yet. You have to install Linux. That's how it is. This is just a preview version. See, this is like the taskbar. It's working. There's settings. There's terminal and stuff. Like, and the performance of this depends upon how much of RAM and processors and stuff you allocated to it. So yeah. We were successful in running it. See, this is the installation process. So we were successful in running it. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you like it. That was how to install Linux on a virtual machine. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.